Welcome to Better Daily Life, where we are moving forward 1% better every single day. Download the app and supercharge your journey at betterdaily.life. Now it's time to ditch facts and get facts with your host and my dad, Alex Van Houten.
What is up, Betterment family? This is Alex Van Houten in Better Daily Live. Happy Thursday. It is Word Thursday, and on Word Thursday, I share some meditations with a word to help you on your 1% better journey. And today is the word fasting. Take a little bit of a different spin on this since I have covered this word in the past, and we are on day 34 of the Faithful 40 challenge. And so today we're going to talk about fasting with regard to our challenge. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. And I am going to also speak an apology. I'm sorry I was not live with you on Tuesday or Wednesday. I have regular bouts with laryngitis. That's a fun byproduct of Ehlers-Danlos. The connective tissue that makes up your vocal cords is the same as, well, pretty close to the same as the connective tissue that makes up your tendons and ligaments. And so they recover at similar rates and stuff. And so I lost my voice about late Monday night and Tuesday and Wednesday. You wouldn't want to hear from me anyway. I sounded terrible. I felt great, but I sounded terrible. That's the thing about laryngitis. So good morning, Robin. Thanks for joining me this morning. Good morning, Scott. Good to see you, brother. So fasting. Fasting is a powerful practice. By definition, fasting simply is to refrain from the consumption of something. That's what it means to fast. Generally, when I speak about fasting, I mean that you are not consuming food, specifically anything that has calories in it that would give your body energy from the outside, right? So things like water or salt or coffee, those green tea, those sorts of things, those generally are allowed, so to speak, when I talk about fasting. Although there are some individuals who, in some traditions, who fast everything. Like when they say fast, they mean nothing comes into your mouth at all, right? So that's a different sort of fasting, but that would be a complete no water, no liquid fast. But fasting means to refrain from the consumption of something. And there's a number of reasons to do that. Here in the Faithful 40 Challenge, we are implementing a group fast. So if you forgot about it and you intended to join us, that's okay. It starts today. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and breaking our fast on Sunday. That's a nice period of time where you can fast. And maybe you have fasting practice or discipline from the past, and so fasting all of those days completely with just water and coffee is something that you're able to do. Great. If so, please join me in that. That'll be awesome. If not, then that's okay too. You can still join us in the capacity that you are capable or willing to do so. You might want to do a shorter series of fasts. You might want to do an 18-hour fast today and break your fast at lunchtime. Or maybe you want to do a 24-hour fast today and break your fast at dinner time this evening. Or you can be like Robin, and I'm not picking on you, man. I'm just using you as an example. You can be like Robin and be like, oh man, I forgot I was fasting today. So he had breakfast, and so he's going to fast with us following breakfast. And so if he was going to do a 24-hour fast, then what he would do is he would have breakfast tomorrow. So maybe you're going to do a few short fasts. Maybe you're going to do some partial fasting. Perhaps you've never fasted before, or maybe that you have medical reasons why going without food for an extended period of time is counterproductive for you. So maybe you're fasting something specific. Maybe you could say, hey, it's been a while since I've taken a break from caffeine, so I'm going to fast from caffeine while our group is doing this. Or perhaps you have a sweet tooth problem and you're going to make a concerted effort over the next 4 days to step away from sweets, anything that has added sugars in it. Maybe you'll step away from fruit even. Then you're welcome to do that as well. Whatever it is that you're doing for your fast, whatever you're refraining from the consumption of, we'd love to know about it. And I want to preface that by saying, from a spiritual perspective, group fasts are not generally a thing. Jesus said it very well in the New Testament, that when you fast, you should put oil in your hair and a smile on your face, and don't let anybody know any better. Let your countenance shine forth, so that the reward for your fast is between you and your Father in heaven. The reason I am implementing a group fast this time around, and the reason I support doing that now and then, is because it's really hard to learn how to fast by yourself. You can do it, but in today's world, being fasted instead of fed is not a normal thing. Most people don't do that. Most people don't skip meals on purpose. and so to be fasted is kind of a strange thing. And I found in my fasting practice, when I started fasting, I was probably about 17 or 18 years old when I started picking up fasting as a discipline, that I learned well in community. It was helpful to have a buddy. It was helpful to have somebody else who was also refraining from food for a specific period of time, so that the two of us could support each other, so that the two of us could pray for each other, so that we could check on each other and see how things are going, and also kind of muddle through some idiosyncrasies. My very first long-term fast was with a good buddy of mine. His name's Nick. Hope he's doing well. I think he might have an account in this group. He's just not active. Anyway, he and I fasted together, and I was working construction at the time. So, he had his job, I had my job. My job was very, very intensive, right? And so that said, I couldn't go 10 hours, 11 hours in a day without consuming some sort of nutrients, without significantly affecting my ability to work or whatever. And so what I did during that time is I'd get a big jug of orange juice, and that's what I did. I would fast for that 48-hour period and sip on orange juice the whole time. Now, if you're somebody who's fasting and shifting your body in the direction of fat burn is one of the goals that you're doing or moving toward, or you're diabetic, then drinking orange juice all day is a really bad idea. So I'm not recommending that type of fasting, but to give you an idea of how I broke into that and how I made fasting something that I could do in my life to be positive and productive. And it was really good for my prayer life, and it was helpful to be connected to Nick. Well, he and I went through that together. We had things we were praying for, and we also felt that that seeking God in that way was very important to both of us. And so I've incorporated fasting in my life in a bunch of different avenues of life, and I've had a lot of different experiences helping clients do the same. And so if during this fast questions come up for you, so maybe this is the first time you've gone without food for an extended period of time, or maybe you have questions about things that you can consume that would be helpful to you, then please reach out. That's very important to me, because we fast as a group so that we can become stronger in our discipline, and so that in that process and practice we can learn something that will help us in the future. So as far as fasting is concerned, on Word Thursday, fasting is the intentional putting down of or lack of consumption of something in particular for a period of time. And why would you do that? Why would you do that? Well, there are a number of reasons to do it. Primarily, the reason that I fast is because I find that being hungry physically speaking, teaches me to hunger for other things and to be filled by other things that are important to me. Your brain's a little bit different when you're satisfied. Your brain's a little bit different when you're fed. And when you're not fed, when your body is tapping into your fat stores as a fuel source, when your body is using energy for other things other than digesting your food, your mind and your body are in a different place. And it's very, very powerful to help you see the world around you in a different perspective. So there's this really interesting passage in John 4 where Jesus just spent some time with the Samaritan woman at the well, and he reveals himself to her as the Messiah, and she's running into the city basically to tell everybody about it. And the disciples are coming back out of Samaria with some food. They went into the city to get some food and provision and stuff, and so they find Jesus. And they're like, hey, you should eat something. We got this food for you. And Jesus, it doesn't say this specifically, but I just picture him with a big smile on his face, just shaking his head, because he's watching the Samaritan woman run into town, and she's going to tell everybody about him. That's what she says. I'm going to tell everybody about you. And so she's running into town. I picture Jesus with a smile on his face, and he says to his disciples, I have food that you don't know anything about. And his disciples, they're fed. They just ate. Their mind is not on the ethereal right now. Their mind is very well grounded in the fed and physical state. And so they don't understand what he's saying. They don't understand that he just spent a miraculous moment with a Samaritan woman who, traditionally speaking, is not connected to the Jewish way of things, or isn't necessarily that concerned with Jewish religious practice or anything like that. So a miniature miracle just occurred, and he's watching it play out right in front of him. And he's so happy about that, and it's so meaningful to him that it feels satisfying, just like having a big meal. And so he says to the disciples, I have food you know nothing about. And they're like, what? Does he have food with him? Has Jesus got like loaves of bread hidden under his cloak? And when they went into the city, they're picturing him, chowing on his bread at the well. And he looks at them, and he keeps shaking his head, and he says, my food is to do the will of my Father who sent me, and to complete his good work. This is echoed strangely also in the Lord's Prayer, where he says, after, Our Father, in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. He says, give us this day our daily bread. And that's a really interesting phrase, because in the same spirit, that daily bread is not just sustenance. Lord, please feed me today. That's not just what he's saying, at least in the way that John uses the word food with Jesus. He's also saying, help me be aware of your good work today. Show me the things that are sustaining. Show me the things that are meaningful. Show me the things that you would have me do that would be even more satisfying than sitting down to a good meal. And please also give me the food and energy I need to do those things. It's a wonderful, wonderful line. And my prayer for you during this fast, whether you're fasting the entire time or whether you're doing a short fast or some partial fasting in between here, my prayer for you is that the physical hunger that you experience and the change and shift in your perspective, mind, body, and spirit, my prayer for you is that you start to see the good work around you that you can be up to, that you start to see the things in your life that are sustaining and meaningful and that are worthy of being pleasurable to you, just like the food in front of our face. You might ask why we call this phase the love phase of the Faithful 40 Challenge, and what does fasting have to do with love? Do you know the number one way people use the word love? It's not just with people. In fact, that's number 2. If you listen to somebody talking today, researchers have actually done this, how people use the word love. People use the word love with regard to food more than anything else. I love pizza. I love cheesecake. I love, eggs. I love sardines. I threw that in there just for you, Pat. People use the word love with regard to food so much. Why? Because it's satisfying. Because it's sustaining. Because it's something we get to be involved in and in relationship with every day. And because it's so dang good. And so I pray for you that in this fast and this time together, that your love for the things that are sustaining, your love for the things that are meaningful, your love for the things that you have a regular relationship with, but perhaps take for granted. My prayer for you is that that love is made new this week. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me for Word Thursday. I'm very excited to be fasting with you, and I'm prayerful that it's productive and meaningful to you. Until next time, guys, this has been Alex Van Houten in Better Daily Live. I promise you I will make up my Nutrition Tip Tuesday and Wild Wednesday soon, so stay tuned since I have my voice back. But until next time, it's just 1%. You got this.
Thank you for joining us for your 1% better. Be you, just better, in mind, body, and spirit. Go to betterdaily.life, download our app, and check out our 5-star coaching resources. We all have a cross to carry. It's lighter when we do it together. Go to betterdaily.life today.